Hello, hello, what's up? 2026, it's here finally, and our first week is over, and I'm here with the batch analysis. Check this out. It's a new year, and I have a lot of trades. Has been a pretty nice week, I would say. Even though I didn't trade every single day, I think I traded maybe just 2 days, maybe three, I'm not sure. And at least two of them I just completely walked away right from the morning. So a really nice mix of trading, not trading, enjoying life, and so on. Was pretty cool. And I think the results overall were pretty good as well. But there is a couple of things that I want to talk about, definitely. So we're gonna get to that. So this week I was mostly focused on trailing the 6 minute 20 EMA. I have changed my management a little bit from fixed 5RR to a trailing system. And it's kind of ironic and very typical that whenever you make a change, y- you encounter something that displeases you, right? I just know that if I hadn't made this change and I stick to my plus five, I would be up so much, like insanely much. I don't think I ever had such a big week back in 2025. Maybe one, maybe 2 weeks, I don't know. But I would be up almost plus 20. And of course, the trailing system did not capture all of that, unfortunately. But that just happens. Every single management that you pick has some give and take. It has some weeks where it's going to perform better, some weeks where it's going to perform worse. And it just so happened that when I compared these two this week, I was unsatisfied. But that doesn't mean that this is a bad management system whatsoever. I just think that I am still to capture the really good runs. And when they happen, it's going to be totally worth it. And this change is going to be justified. But yeah, until that happens, I'm just going to chill, I guess. So let's jump into Notion. So let's go over here. So I have quite a lot of stuff to go over. And I started making some Notion refinements as well. So I guess I'm gonna get into that. I mostly want to get rid of all of this. Like, you know how I mm, tag everything, like every single time frame that it was perfect and good momentum and all of that. I think I don't need that. It just takes unnecessary time. Instead, what I'm gonna do is I'm just going to tag something if it's a mistake so that I can track those things. Like it's expected of me to take perfect trades, hopefully. So yeah, I'm only going to take the time to put some notes in if there is something to actually like pay attention to. Anyway, let's get into this week. So instructions are pretty much the same. I haven't really changed this. Uh, I don't think I'm even gonna read this. I have this quite well instilled in me already. So let's go to Monday, and here we have some news. So I've been very diligent with my worksheets. So even though this is a little bit tedious with the context and whatnot, it doesn't take more than a couple of minutes. So I've been doing it very diligently. So these things are on my watch list, right? I watched UJ for a little bit. So these contacts are the weekly and the daily. Weekly looks a little bit meh, but it's in a momentum cycle. Daily, decent momentum cycle, started going sideways, and now kind of breaking out higher, right? It looks like it could go. I was waiting for some money to come in, of course, but like in general, this contact is kind of okay. GER30 finally breaking out of this huge stage one. Not quite yet, but already like on the verge of breaking out. So I was keeping an eye on it because if this starts going higher, like my expectation is that this can easily go to like 28K or something. So definitely on my watch list. UK 100 strong trend on the weekly. Here on the daily, it's re-accumulated or flushed, whatever you want to call it. And since then, we had MMB1 and now moving higher. This could easily go to like 11K or something, in my opinion. So definitely on my watch list. Same goes for JPN, very similar, right? We had a huge run that now finally went sideways a little bit and now breaking above some highs and maybe some continuation, easily 58K or something. So that's on my watch list. And silver, of course, no surprise there. I mean, silver went absolutely bonkers, and now it's pulling back into the rising EMAs. I wouldn't trade this on like an hour or something, but I think it's still totally okay to trade this on like the super low time frames, like the 1 minute and whatnot. So that's that. And gold is lagging behind a little bit, but generally in good context, I would say. So these assets, they're going to show up over and over again because they're all the assets that I traded this week. I think I just removed UJ eventually, but yeah, these were the ones that I was watching. So here are some thoughts. Quite a few markets look decent on the high time frame. Low time frame needs money to come in, and JPN looks the most interesting to me. All right, so I have quite a few trades here. Let's get into them. First one is this JER30 trade, and I think I did not take this, but that's okay. So here we are. I'm not sure if this already broke out above all the highs of the weekly and whatnot, but in general, this looked pretty good, and I thought that I could put on some risk. So let's check out how this went. So the 60-minute looks overall pretty decent, right? Good momentum cycle over here, then it starts reaccumulating and then moves higher. Expectation is that it's going to move higher. Here is a very, very nice stage one, strong breakout out of it. And actually, let's see on the 1 minute, we're going to see that here. Okay, so breakout out of it, flushes one more time for some mitigation or whatnot. Big momentum comes in, pull back into the rising 1020. And here we are on the 10-second looking for the entry, right? So super, super strong stage two. I love that. Then it breaks down, and since then it goes higher and creates this DMB over here. Well, I did not take this trade mostly because this wasn't too much of a flagging pullback. So one new rule that I have kind of implemented or started using is a rule that I was using already back before MentFX, and it was the one thing that I have noticed to be very, very powerful. And it's when we have some kind of breakout above some resistance or whatnot, right? Okay, so let's say we break out. Now there's a big difference between whether we come back down and pull back in a V-shaped manner like this, like really, really aggressively sloping, or whether we break out and we start pulling back in this kind of fashion. This is what I call a flagging pullback. And what's cool about this one is that most of the time, this is going to give the EMAs time to do something like this, and you can also draw a diagonal and that just shows consistent selling. And when we have a confirmation coming in afterwards, that's when I want to trade it, right? This is very different from, let's say, having this and then trading this. Like, yes, this can still work, especially if it pulls back into a demand zone and from there it bounces like this. That's kind of nice. But in general, I just prefer flagging pullbacks. And this was not really a flagging pullback. Plus, like, with the flagging pullbacks, I really like to enter above the diagonal, right? And here I could draw the diagonal, but the entry was still trapped below. So I didn't quite like it, and that's why I didn't take it. So let's see what I write here. So I didn't like the E here, so I didn't take. Makes sense. Most importantly, this wasn't a consistent flagging pullback. Yes, sir. And floating here, if I had entered, I would go risk-free because floating supply got licked and that would lead to a break even. So that's all. I'm glad I didn't take it, sticking to my rules, but even if I did take it, it would be a break even because of the range high getting liquidated. Once this gets liquidated and it's enough above my entry, my expectation is that if it wants to go, it's just gonna fucking go, right? It has all the chances in the world to take this liquidity above, bite through it, and just continue higher, higher, higher as let's say sellers get pushed out of their positions and they need to buy this back. So yeah, very happy with how this went. I would say this was perfect. Perfect in the sense that, well, the decision was good that I didn't take it. So that's all I'm gonna say about it. Oh, by the way, one little refinement that I plan on doing is instead of this little result thingy over here, I'm gonna use this stage thing over here, which has quite a lot more things. But yeah, I kind of like that because I can move the trade from different stages based on well how it progresses, right? Just I think it's a little bit nicer. But I only started creating this just before this batch analysis, so probably gonna make some refinements for the next one. For now, I'm just gonna leave it as it is. I might get completely rid of tags in general because it's a hot mess. But yeah, another thing that I did is I put here the RR secured, right? So RR secured here is 0 because it's a BE. In the past, it would calculate automatically based on these 4 options. The problem here was that it would all be kind of fixed, so I couldn't really account for any irregularities, let's say when I get slipped or something, right? A loss would always be a minus 1.2. Well, but if it's like minus 1.2, but I got slipped on the way in and on the way out, and it's a total of minus 1.5, I didn't have a way to account that. So now I just write in the RR secured manually, and then it calculates the net, which just takes off some commissions. Those I keep at 0.2 because that's pretty much consistent if I average it out. So yeah, that's just that. Okay, let's move on. So yeah, this was a biggie. All right, next up we have a JPN trade, and let's check it out. So here, 60 minutes, right? We have some kind of stage one, and since then we have a breakout. This could be MMB, could be another reset. I would call this an MMB. So MMB1, MMB2, definitely not overextended. I think this can continue higher easily. So here we are on the 6 minute. So what do we have? We have a very strong bullish push here. Nice reaccumulation, another strong bullish push here, nice reaccumulation once again. So here, as we get this push higher, that push higher goes like above all this diagonal, right, above this stuff. So this is looking very nice, looks like reignition within the reaccumulation. So if we go to the 1 minute here, so this is my flagging pullback, I really like it. So this is what you're going to start seeing over and over in my analyses, and that's these two lines, this line and this line. I always used to do that before Ment FX, and I loved it, and I'm going to start doing it again. What this is very simply, as this starts pulling back, if it's a flagging pullback, I can draw the diagonal, and also I want to see price break not just above the diagonal, but also above the last wave. So if I just draw these in, you can see the waves. I'm going to want to see a break above this wave high, right? That's going to be super important to me. So you're going to see these all the time. And that happens here very nicely. We can see big momentum come in, and as it pulls back, it's still a momentum cycle and everything. This is looking very, very nice. So I do like this entry quite a lot. I wonder why I didn't take it though. So what do I write here? Missed it. Okay, I see. Because I was doing something else. That's unfortunate. So if I got into it, I would reduce risk over here for 2 reasons. One, it's very strong, so that by itself already justifies a reduction of risk. 2, it goes above the range high, right? Uh, so it liquidates floating supply, so to say. So every reason to be risk-free on this. And actually, I just reduce risk. I see, because of the spread. So here I reduce risk. It comes back. Very nice. Keeps me in. And as it liquidates the high, that's when I go completely risk-free. And very nice. It liquidates the high and comes back and taps me out for a break even. So yeah, very nice. So this is a didn't take. Why didn't take? Because I didn't pay attention. I'm gonna keep this for sure because that's something that I can continue troubleshooting and whatnot. So the decision overall was a mistake that I didn't take it. I was supposed to take it, and I was supposed to get a minus 0.2 for commissions because this trade was very nice, I would say. I really like this trade. By the way, let me go here. I totally forgot to do this. So what do I write here? Yep, this was a mistake. Well, yeah, it was questionable. Wasn't necessarily a mistake, but based on my rules on the E, I would not take this. So actually, it was a mistake. Fuck it. Was a mistake. Should not have taken it, and I didn't take it. So all good. So boop over here. That's a BE. But this trade, I really think, was perfect. Perfect. If all my trades looked like this, I would be very, very happy. So, perfect. Okay, Moving on, we got another trade, and this one I actually took. So it's a trade on gold. So let's check it out. We know that gold looks relatively fine. So what do we have over here? We have a strong push, right, that comes all the way back down. Big, big sell-off, whatever. Starts going sideways, right? This looks like a beautiful, beautiful accumulation schematic. I do like that. And here we clearly break out above all of these highs and we pull back into the rising 1020. Expectation is higher, higher, higher. So looks pretty good, I would say. So here we are on the 6 minute. Kind of a draggy, like not the strongest push, I would say. And here it flushes out, right? So as it flushes out, I'm definitely going to look for this. It's above the diagonal, and I'm definitely going to look for this. So here it's in decent context for the 6 minute. It broke out. This is looking kind of nice. So if we go to the 1 minute, we're going to see that like all of this, right, was the stage one thingy. Somewhere over here was the diagonal. And here, what do we have? So we have a push that goes through one pullback, two pullbacks. This is the third pullback. So I think this is still valid. And it pulls back into the rising 1020. Let's look at the 10-second because this was a 10-second entry. This stage two, I like this stage two. It's pretty strong. Here we have this diagonal, right, and we have this. Goes higher, pulls back into the rising 1020. This is the entry. I think this is good. I think this is very, very nice. If anything, maybe it's a little bit questionable about the context, but honestly, I think it's good. I think it's good. Yeah, yeah, I don't see an issue with this. Maybe this was a little bit weak, but even if it was, this was strong. So I think this was good. I don't have an issue with it. So this ended up being a -1. What do I write here? Well, it taps me in, liquidates the range high. Maybe I should have reduced risk, but since this is a little bit of a problem because like these entries that are just below floating supply, this will ultimately happen, right? And I said it before, I'll say it again, the best losses in my opinion are those that are at a decision point where either it continues or it ends up being a redistribution or redistribution and it fucks off lower. This is one of those. It just grabbed the liquidity and immediately fucked off lower, giving me a very, very quick loss. But it just as well might have been that it wants to continue, and that's the risk that we take. So I would call this a good loss, honestly. So decision was good, in my opinion. And what is this? It's already closed. So let me see. I think this trade was good. Boop. Good. One thing that I will say is that the 6 minute, the validation over here, maybe the stage 2 was a little bit weak. Weak stage 2. I'm just going to write that in here. So that would be the validation. Could be a bit weak. So I'm just going to comment that, and that is why it's just good and not perfect. Okay. Anything else to fill out? I don't think so. Nope, I don't think so. So that ends up being a -1 for me. Do we have another trade? Yes, there is one more trade here on gold, so check it out. We are still in the same area, I believe. No, we're not. We're not. Okay, so interesting. So what happened over here? This is the previous trade. Here we are on the 1 minute, right? I entered here with the expectation to go higher, but it flushed out a little bit more, did some choppy bonanza, and then went really, really hard. I wonder if there were any entries in here, but I guess not. Like maybe I would be looking for entry here or entry here, but probably didn't get anything. And here, very strong stage 2. I do like that. Here, let me just see. Okay, so I really like this context, by the way. Like here it pulled back and moved higher. That by itself is already beautiful. Huge strength comes in, right, above all this high and whatnot, and pulls back into the rising 1020. And this is the first, this is the second pullback. So definitely not overextended. I do like this. Strong stage 2 on the 1 minute here and nice flagging pullback. And once again, you can see the two lines, right? The diagonal and some kind of highs. Breaks higher, pulls back, and here it does this. Okay, so Ugh, yikes. I'm not sure about this one. Is this the type of entry that I do on the 6 minute where it's the ICI within the momentum cycle? Yes, that's what it is. That is what it is. Okay. In that case, should be kind of fine, right? Uh, Let me drink a bit. Okay. So in that case, that's kind of alright because the 6 minute is still in a beautiful cycle over here, and this is the entry. Well, what needs to hold is this low. This low clearly held, came back into the demand zone, mitigated. So if price breaks above this high, that should be pretty valid, I think. So I think this trade was good. Yeah. Let's see what I write here. Nothing. It's just an instant -1. Just taps me in and instantly fucks me up. Beautiful. Okay, well, what can you do? That just happens. Twice in a row. Oh well. Gold faked me out, but it's okay. It's okay, Gold. I'll get you another day, bro. So, that was a -1. Very nice. Is there anything that I don't like about this trade? The entry seems a little bit unrefined in a way. Uh, difficult to point out. I'm not exactly sure. I do like this trade overall. I think it's a good one. So probably nothing negative to say about it. Yep, this was good. So decision was good. Closed. Boop boop boop. RR secured. Okay, cool. So that was Monday. Quite a lot of stuff. So JPN, JER, and gold all looked awesome and all moved higher, but I didn't get to profit off of it. I tried with 2 gold trades, but I got fucked. Rules were followed, so all is good. Yes, that's the most important thing. Rules were followed. I'm not unhappy about any of these trades that I took. I think if I continue trading in this fashion, I'm going to do very, very well for myself. So Monday was a success. Coming in Tuesday, what do we have? So no news, nothing. Contacts remain the same. Oh yeah, I also added this little tag here. So far I only have stage 1 breakout and a strong high time frame trend and maybe overextended. That's all. Just so I can like see why do I like these contexts. So JER30, it's clear that's like a stage 1 breakout here, right? Both on the weekly and the daily. And sometimes it's just a very, very strong trend, which is, for example, here on UK 100. I'm not going to go over these again. There's no point. But yeah, that's what I was looking for. So all the yesterday's strong assets are now reaccumulating, it seems. But UK 100 looks ready, feeling a bit of a decision fatigue after taking 4 trades, but I think I'm following rules well here. Okay, so I'm going to have a lot of trades, and after 4, I feel fatigued. Looks like there's 6. Wow. All right, let's get into that. So first trade, UK 100. We already know UK 100, very, very strong, right? So what do we have here on the 60? Some kind of reaccumulation over here, some kind of stage 1 or whatnot. Moves higher, pulls back, moves higher. So this is most definitely looking super, super good. 6 minute, okay. Uh, Overall moving higher, we can see that on the MA50. And here we have some kind of choppy nonsense, but since then, big strong push and a pullback into the rising 1020. Beautiful, beautiful context for this on the 6 minute. And what do we have here? So we have a strong stage 2, right? And it starts pulling back in this wavy flagging fashion. I can draw this, I can draw this, and yeah, it breaks higher. It has 1, 2, 3 candles as a break. I love this. This is such a nice trade, in my opinion. So even though it ends up being a loss most likely, I really like this trade. This is a good trade. So what do I write here? Nothing really. I just get tapped in and instantly fucked up. That's alright. So that's a good decision here. It's closed. Absolutely no max RR whatsoever. Okay, so this is, in my opinion, pretty much perfect. All right, moving on. Are we moving on? Are we? Yeah, I think so. Mm, did I fill out all those things? Let me just go back here real quick. Wait a second. The stages. All right. Yeah, I'm gonna have to do that in the template. Never mind. So this is this. Let's go to the next trade, which is a dirt dirty trade. Cool. So what do we have? Choppy nonsense, breakout strong, first pullback, second pullback. Definitely good context here. 6 minutes, strong push higher, right? Starts reaccumulating. Whoa, sorry about. God damn it! I inhaled some saliva. Okay, so here it starts reaccumulating in a big way and starts going sideways. Honestly, I don't quite like this one. I think this was a bit too early. Reason for that, okay, so we have this cell wall, right? And this is like the high of it. And then we break higher above it, and we break higher above it one more time. I see. So I assumed that this wants to continue. It's fine. It's fine. Also, the EMA is already rising. This looks pretty consistent compared to all of this choppy nonsense. This is kind of okay. So here we also have this, right, with this being some kind of fake out. And especially if it's a redistribution, which this is, then yeah, we can definitely call this a fake out. So I would say as long as it like breaks above this, it's pretty good. So what do we have? We have a strong stage 2 that pulls back, right, in quite a nice fashion and then breaks higher again on really, really high, really strong momentum, pulls back into the rising 1020. And what do we have here? So this, yeah, this is ugly. This, ugh. This is ugly. This is not a flagging pullback. I do not like this. Mm, I know that these entries sometimes work, but in general, whenever there is like this big push down, the immediate like flush and whatnot, I'm generally not the biggest fan. But here, like, okay, so we have a break above this, and like this does look kinda decent as a DMB. So I understand where I'm coming from. And as long as the 1 minute momentum cycle is intact, I should be able to take it, right? But in general, honestly, like it's not any one thing with this trade, but in general, like looking at all of this, at the trade overall, if I was to make a decision, do I want to take this trade again or not, or would I take this trade right now if I could? The answer would be no, I think, because, well, it's a little bit weird. I would much rather, like, given these wicks and whatnot, I would much rather see price break above here and maybe do something like this and start getting involved there. I think this was a little bit sus, honestly. So what happens over here? So after this, I go risk-free. Okay. So I think, hmm, all right, whatever. I go risk-free after this. That makes a lot of sense. I think I should have reduced risk after this candle and then go risk-free here. So I don't know why I don't have a reduced risk comment here, but whatever. And yeah, that high gets liquidated and it comes back, resulting in a BE. Okay, well, honestly, I do not like this trade. I don't like this trade. It's very questionable. And if I could, I would not have taken it. So I'm going to call it a mistake. Mm, okay, so decision, I think, was a mistake, unfortunately. And what am I going to say about it? Well, most likely the entry was a bit ugly. Ugly why? Also, the context was a bit ugly. So, the context, the validation, whatever, like the 6 minute. So here, I would almost say that it's still stuck in a stage one, although this does look like a nice MMB and continuation higher. Mm, let's see, what, what am I gonna say about this? I think I was simply too early. That's what I'm gonna say. Too early on the V. Hmm. Yep. Okay, so that's unfortunate. That's the first mistake of this week, but it is what it is. So yeah. Okay, moving on, we got a trade on UK 100. Let's check it out. So previously, I think I was looking for some kind of trade already, wasn't I? So something over here. I think I was looking for a trade over here also, whatnot. Anyway, this is a breakout, first pullback, so expectation is that this can go much, much higher, right? So here, 6 minute, this is choppy as fuck, not interested. Ah, yeah, I think I took a trade somewhere over here, makes sense. This started chopping, but still held the general like momentum cycle, and then it breaks higher, of course expectation is that it can go much, much higher. And this, by the way, is beautiful. From what I have noticed, my most beautiful trades come from a stage one, like a really clearly defined stage one, just like I have over here, and a breakout above it on big momentum and the pullback into the rising 1020, right? And then, like, I can trade pullback one, two, and sometimes three, but usually just one and two. So this is perfect. And here, what happens, this is one of those inside ICI thingies. So this is technically a 10-second entry, even though UK 100 is not a 10-second entry, but this is like within the MMB, right? So it's a 1 minute entry inside the MMB. It's totally valid, totally fine. I do like it. So here, I enter above this. So let's see what I do. Taps me in and I reduce risk on this candle. Yep, that makes total sense. Very strong candle. And what happens next? Okay, pulls back a little bit, breaks the high, risk-free after that, and I trail with the 1 minute momentum cycle with the close below the EMA 20, and I get out for a plus 3.9. And here, this is actually something I wanted to address in this analysis because at the beginning, if you remember, at the beginning I said trailing the 6 minute 20 EMA. Yeah, okay, valid, valid. But here I write, I just realized that I was supposed to trail the 6 minute, not the 1 minute. Look, I'm very inexperienced still with this, with like live executing the trailing, so I got a little bit confused. And usually when I have a new rule, I get confused about it for a couple of days, maybe even weeks. So it makes sense that I got confused over here, but I think I did exactly what I was supposed to do. If I get involved in this MMB, I'm supposed to trail this momentum cycle. By the way, here there is technically a close below the EMA, but because it's so close to my entry, I don't even bother closing it. Like, I don't need a plus zero point 0.5. I'd much rather give it a chance to stay in the trade and take me higher, which it did over here. Here, I already take it, right? It's the same. It's just a little bit below, but it's so high above my entry that I want to get out. So if I was trailing it with the 6 minute, however, this is what would happen, and I would be up 9.6 instead of 3.7. All right, well, yeah, that would be nice, but that didn't happen. So I still think I was very simply supposed to trail with the 1 minute, just like I did. I would trail the 6 minute if it was a 1 minute DMB, right? What do I mean by that? Well, I mean, so here this is an ICI within the 1 minute MMB. So if I trade inside a 1 minute MMB, I will be trailing the 1 minute momentum cycle. If I got in a 6 minute MMB, like here, I would be trailing the 6 minute, right? So that's how it works. And I got a little bit confused regarding that, but it's all good. So here, I think I didn't make any mistakes. I think this was very, very good. And let's see, so yeah, I'm going to call this trade perfect because I think it really was perfect. Like this contextual thing, this area is just beautiful. This is like the best it can be. And also that made me draw this, right? Because I looked at this trade and I was like, yes, this is it. And when it comes to my V's, my validations, this is what I like to see. And then, like, I look to confirm over here, right? And confirmation can happen on a lower time frame, or it can happen on the same time frame. And that's when you see those ICIs inside of it that I can see on the given time frame. But I can also zoom into this area and, of course, look for the regular DMB, right? Something like this. So, yep, this was absolutely beautiful. Perfect. Boom. anything else? Ah, yeah, like the max RR. I was supposed to track that. Okay, okay. Let me go to UK 100 over here and let's see if I can find it. I think it was over here, wasn't it? Like some kind of stage one. When was this taken? So this is January 6th. Okay, so it's way further back. Okay, okay, it's here. Yeah, yeah, that's this trade. So here, does it liquidate it? Actually, it does. Cool. So 15.15 is the max RR. 15.15. Very nice. Okay, and this was a win. Very, very cool, if I say so myself. Okay, moving on. Moving on, there's another Dir30 trade. Yes, sir. So here we are. What do we have? Okay, so previously I was arguing whether it was good or not to trade in here. It indeed ended up being an MMB and it ended up moving higher, so that's kind of cool. It goes above all of this with big momentum, and then I would like to see a flagging pullback and whatnot. What the fuck is this, man? What the fuck is this? I'm not sure if I like this. If anything, like, I should have taken this entry. This is much, much nicer. Like, here we have a pullback and all, right? This was definitely buy stoppable. I like this much, much more. Here, yes, we have a flagging pullback, but this is not a reason to entry. This is not a move above, right? What I need to see is a move above the diagonal for real. Also, the way this is currently printing, I would need to see what. Okay, so all of this is some kind of support. Where did it come? Like, nah, I don't like this entry because like this is not. This looks like a fake out. It doesn't look like a reason to enter. I would like to see something like this, you know. So I really hate this entry. I think I forced it. Like this is beautiful, right? It's still, yeah, this is really nice. But you can even see on over here, this ends up being a wick. Of course it is. Of course it's a wick because it just peekaboos above and instantly gets rejected. This was not supposed to be an entry. Nuh-uh. I was supposed to wait for this. Yep. Um, ugly entry. Ugly entry. Too early. Also gonna... Whoa, whoa, whoa. What the fuck? Fake out. Copy, copy, fake out. Yes. Alright, so this is most definitely a mistake. No question about it. Okay. Mistake. Cool. Otherwise, it would have been nice. Also, if I had traded over here, as I showed before, this entry, that would be inside of here, which is very much a valid MMB. That would have been nice, but for some reason I did not do that. So what do I say here? Range high got liquidated. Yep. So I reduce. Should I have went risk-free? Oh, I didn't go risk-free. Okay. Well, maybe I should have, and I didn't. End up being a -1. So management was kind of bad. Didn't reduce risk on time, and also entry was ugly. Ugly. Why? Well, because it was too early. Do I have too early here? Too early. Yes, I do. Okay. Boom. So this is closed. No max RR or nothing. So decision, it was most definitely a mistake. And it's a -1. Okay. Well, that's a bit unfortunate. All right, next up, I have a trade on silver. Let's take this down. What am I looking at over here, by the way? Ah, yeah, yeah, I know what I'm looking at. Okay, might talk about that later. So here we are on silver. What do we have? Some kind of stage one, right? Capped with this supply over here, I would say, but whatever. Like breaks above all of this. Pullback 1, pullback 2, pullback 3. Definitely a good area to look for. This was a beautiful breakout, by the way, pulls back into the rising 1020. Very, very nice. So what happens over here? Yep. So I can draw the diagonal, right? And I can also draw the, well, I draw it here, but to be honest, I should have drawn it here because, well, this was previous support. And where is the break of that support coming from? Well, it's coming from here. But when it comes, if I was to draw the waves, right, I would draw them like this because this little hiccup is part of this bigger wave. So I should have most definitely waited for a break above this. Doesn't matter. It does break above here and pulls back into the rising 1020. Beautiful. Perfect. Perfect area to look for a trade. Here we are on the 1 minute, very strong stage 2. That's like the prerequisite for every single one of my trades. And here it starts pulling back in kind of a nice flagging fashion. I do like this. It's a little bit steep, but it's still viable. And here it breaks above all of these highs, right, and creates this MMB or whatever, this MB2. I do like it. I think it's really nice. I also look at the 10-second here just to see if there is a reaccumulation. It's one of my rules that I want to see some lows liquidated on the lower time frame to determine that this truly is an MMB, aka a reaccumulation, which this is, and I think this is perfect. So what happens over here? Spread is kind of huge, so I tried to get in with the limit, and I did get in. Okay, I see. I was wondering, like, why am I like this? Like the entry should be somewhere over here. But if I remember correctly, this happened really, really fast, and I didn't have time to set it up. So I just set it up as a limit and hoping for the best. And it did actually tap me in. So yeah, here it went a little bit lower, tapped me in. And on this strong candle, I reduced my risk, right? And not making the same mistake as with UK 100, gonna trail the 6 minute like a good boy. Yes, well, of course, because this is a trade. It's a 1 minute DMB within a 6 minute MMB. So of course I'm supposed to trail this, right? Makes total sense. If I had gotten in over here somehow, it would be an entry within a 1 minute MB. So I would be trailing the 1 minute momentum cycle, right? So it makes total sense. Here, as it breaks higher, I'm completely risk-free. I still had like zero point 0.1 risk before that. And this goes on quite a run. And I give it a little bit of a chance over here because what I sometimes see is that with these big, big flushes, it just taps below and instantly reverses. So I'm like, okay, I'm willing to give up like 0.5 R for the chance that it's going to continue higher, but it doesn't. And on the next one where it closes, I just close the trade for a beautiful +6. So I think this was really, really nice. What a beautiful trade. So good. Regarding max RR, I'm actually interested. Let's see if I can find that. XAG. Okay, XAG. When was this? Again, this was on the 6th, right? Yeah. Jeez. Um, okay. Let's find it here. January 6th, 1535. Okay. January 6th, 1535. So it's somewhere over here, is it? So it's here, huh? Let me go in there. Start new. Start new here. Okay. Let me see the trade. Where was it taken? So I have, oh, screw you. I have this pullback over here. I need this. Need to recreate it. Okay, so I have this. I have all of this. And then I should have an entry in here. And the entry is this one, I believe. Boom, boom. Yes? Yes, that's the entry. And it's like a little bit like somewhere over here. Okay. Somewhere over here. Let's just make it super wide so I can see it. Okay, go back and let's see where I could have trailed it. So max RR was, saw 14 here. Here, 14.44. Okay, max RR 14.44, closed, and it was a win. Okay, beautiful. What a nice trade. Okay, and that was silver. And I think I have one more trade here on silver. So let's check it out. Oop. This was perfect, by the way. Just gonna put that in here. Okay. +6, yep. And that brings me to this. So I was thinking a little bit about some C rules because C can sometimes be all over the place and there's so many different variants of how my C can look like. What the heck is going on here? One sec. Oh, never mind. Actually, wait a second. So this let me do this silver trade first because I do have a lesson about it that I have in Notion. So I'm going to refer back to it in a bit. So here we are on silver, right? We had this trade previously over here, and that ends up going higher, 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 right? Here it tops out and it starts pulling back once again in a really, really nice fashion. So we can see the flagging pullback. I can draw the diagonal. I can draw the horizontal as well. And here it breaks out and it pulls back. So let me see the 1 minute over here. Big move on the 1 minute, pulls back into the rising 1020, and from there puts in this beautiful DMB. So this is a trade on the 6 minute MB, right? The DMB is within that, so I would be trailing once again the 6 minute EMAs. I think this trade is beautiful, by the way. This is so nice. And here I can just see on the 10 second. I'm not really confirming this on the 10 second. This is a 1 minute trade, but I just wanted to see how consistent the pullback is and whether it can be classified as flagging, which it definitely can, and if these rules are basically met, and they definitely are. And also, I wanted to make sure that this MB is a reaccumulation, which once again it is. So this trade is mwah, so beautiful. Like one thing maybe is okay, pullback 1, 2, 3, 4. This could be overextended potentially. Like this could be overextended, but it's the high time frame. Like if this was my V, I would not take it. But if it's a C, I think I'm still good with it. So that's that. So let's see what actually ends up happening. This is the last trade on silver. Cool. Looks over and extended on the 60. It's the fourth pullback. Will skip and wait for a flush on the 60. Ah, okay. So I actually didn't take it. Cool. I don't mind that at all. Like that's cool. That's very nice. So that entry would have worked. And yeah, this is one of those things. Like if I had uh, operated with my previous fixed TP strategy, I would be up +5 on this, right? But this starts going in my direction and then puts in this ugh, ugly ass 6 minute candle. Just deletes maybe 3R out of the trade. Just really disgusting. And yeah, that ends up being just a +1.5. So that's a little bit unfortunate. But yeah, I did not take it. I'm glad I didn't take it. So that's good. When in doubt, stay out. It's much better to not take a valid trade than to make a mistake taking a trade that I wasn't supposed to take. So I'm very happy about this. Overall, I would say that was a good trade. So that is all for Tuesday, I believe. What do I write down here? Got into a nice UK 100 trade, but trailed the 1 minute momentum cycle instead of the 6. It's okay. I was supposed to do that. It's fine. Got confused because the setup was inside MMB setup on the 1 minute, which is technically a 10-second setup. Exactly. So I was supposed to trail the 1 minute. Oh, good. My low time frame entries will always be 1 minute entries, either MB buy stop or ICI within MBs. Overall, very nice session, up 6.9R, and I followed my rules really well. Well, I did make some mistakes, didn't I? I can't really see this. I should really put that in the layout, shouldn't I? The decision thingy. Yes. Yeah, I should do that. UK 100, below the results probably. So one mistake, two mistakes. Nah. So the mistake here was that I didn't reduce risk. What kind of mistake was here? I entered too early on an ugly E. Okay, this is exactly what I want to see, by the way. I don't need all of these blue, purple, whatever the fuck this color is, thingies. I just need to have it here when there is a mistake. So I'm gonna make some small refinements for next week. But yeah, that is Tuesday. So, boop, let's go to Wednesday. Lots of news. Got everything set up. All the same contacts. Nice. So most high time frame trading assets are either overextended on the 60 or reaccumulating on the 60 and need some time. We'll most likely skip this day and take it on a date. That's my wife, by the way. And yes, now we get into the lesson over here. And I do have a trade too. Okay, cool. So this is the lesson. Utilizing the 3 box for my 60-minute C. I don't know if you guys remember the 3 box. It was back in the day, uh, some really old school MentFX stuff, and it was basically uh, I don't even remember how he calls the 3 boxes. Was it SSC? Uh, structure, SND, confirm. Yes, that's what it was. Okay, so you get a structural breakout, you get a demand zone, right? That's the second S, the S&D zone, and the confirm. So back in the day, this would be a 3 box, right? And you would be looking for a confirm over here as it would tap in. These days, MentFX allows for entries that happen above the demand zone. He doesn't need to see the mitigation, which makes total sense because we know that when true demand enters the market, it does not tend to look back. But I wanted to make a nice C rule, and what I have noticed on my recent backtests is that especially when it comes to the 60-minute for the low time frame entries like the 1 minute and 10-second and so on, it's really nice to see a strong 3 box. So you have some kind of structure, right? And it just breaks out. Imagine this is 1, 2, 3 very big bullish 60-minute candles. When I get this, following that pullback tends to be really good. Okay. So that's kind of what I'm going to go with these days. And it has 2 versions, right? One version is that it comes out of a stage 1 and it's just a strong breakout and we follow the pullback. The other one is that it's already in a moving market, a trend, especially if it's above the 1020, just like we, for example, saw here on silver. Silver. Hello? Silver? Yo, Mr. Silver, where are you? Oh, okay, over here. So here, right, we have a strong breakout on a already moving market that creates a 3 box structure, breaks above this high, S&D, beautiful valid demand zone, untapped, right, with a lot of inefficiency, and confirm. Well, we don't need to confirm over here. We can confirm over here, and we did. We confirmed over here. It didn't tap back, right? But I have noticed that in order to follow on the low time frame, it makes sense to filter the high time frame for these moments when there is a really strong push on the 60-minute, and then we want to look for the continuations. And here it happened as well, right? Big strong thingy, could have definitely looked for entry somewhere over here, and I think there was even an attempt. Again, here, big strong thingy, pulling back, there could have been some entry, and there probably was. So yeah, big breakouts, big strong breakout candles on the 60 is a really nice filter to look for. Anyway, what do I write here? So, oh, by the way, in an attempt to create a nice high time frame C rule, I came up with something. Remember the good old 3 box days? I always do my contact sections on the worksheet in the morning, which consists of the weekly and the daily. Yeah, you already saw that. So these are all the assets I'm willing to trade on a given day. And then I have my EVC with the 60 being the C. So I could simply look for a good 3 box on the 60, either breakout out of stage 1 or a trend continuation. Either way, it's a strong push higher, candle close at least. Then, once this push pulls back, we can trade it. Yep, so that's kind of what I'm going to be trying to do these days. Because this, especially like the candle close thing, this ends up filtering out a lot of the things that are not ready yet or that are faking out, so to say, on let's say the 6-minute or even the 1 minute. So I'm just going to wait for a strong 60-minute candle that closes, And then as that reaccumulates, I'm going to look for trades there. So that's a little bit of a refinement once again. And I do have a trade here under 30, so let's check it out. Let's check out what's happening here. Already looking at this, I feel like this could be a little bit overextended. Okay, so we have this nonsense, breaks higher. Okay, so we have pullback 1, pullback 2. I would say this is the same area. Pullback 2 and pullback 3. I don't know. I don't know. This looks a little bit sus. Looks a bit OE. Yep. Looks a tiny little bit OE. All right. Anyway, here we have some kind of stage 1. Breaks higher, chops, chops, chops. Breaks higher once again. 1 minute, big stage 1. Breaks higher, pulls back into the rising 1020. Decent stage 2. Pulls back quite consistently. Yeah, this looks kind of decent. And MMB, the MMB, I don't know. Looks kind of okay. Yeah, looks okay. Uh, Honestly, if I could, I would probably not take this trade. I just feel it's overextended. I would really like to see this entire trend just completely reset. Go sideways a little bit, probably pull down, and build up again from here. That would be perfect. Mm, yeah, I don't know. This just seems overextended to me. The entry is kind of alright. Kind of alright. But overall, I think it's overextended. So let's check it out. Oh, I even write here. I didn't take. Okay, good, good. Because it looks overextended. Good, nice. Followed rules. Let's go. Anyway, taps me in. Would be risk-free after this huge candle. Of course, that makes sense. And that actually comes all the way back to break even. Cool. So definitely a good decision that I didn't take it. Nice. And RR secured was 0. Anything else I need to fill in? Well, yes. The context itself is overextended. Boom. There we go. So, didn't take. Yep, good, good. I would call this trade overall a mistake. I need to do that, by the way. The trade overall was a mistake, I think. And that's why it was good that I didn't take it. Yes. All right. Ended up not trading anything. Cool. So that was Wednesday. Let's go to Thursday. Okay, all the same things, right? Some nice high time frame trends, but need money to come in on the 60, expecting a no trade day, and indeed it was a no trade day. Indeed, nothing was trade. The 30 was maybe interesting, but I really wanted to see it flush on the 60, so I skipped it. Yep, because, well, what I said over here, right? And that leads us to the last day, which is Friday. Some news at 4 p.m. Okay. I didn't even fill out the context anymore and the watch list I see because, well, it's the same thing over and over. I like UK 100 and JER 30, only gonna trade London today because after that I had some plans. And I end up having 2 trades here, so let's take a look. First one is UK 100. So what do we have? Strong trend overall, right? This pulls back, and I would say, well, this is, yeah, makes sense. This makes sense. Here it breaks higher, nice MMB. A trade here would have made sense, but as it moves higher, I do have trades over here that makes total sense, and following this is really, really good. So here we are on the 6 minute. What do we have? This is 1 MB over here. This is another MB, and I would say this went so much sideways that I would call this a reaccumulation, honestly. So here we have pullback 1, pullback 2, breaking out of the stage 1, right? Especially since we have multiple touch points here. This is most definitely a stage 1. So this, I would say, is a new count. So pullback 1, pullback 2, definitely valid to trade over here. You can see I was looking for a trade here already. Good place to look for a trade, probably good place to look here as well. And as it pulls back, let's see what happens. So Okay, so this is the pullback. I would say this whole thing is the stage one. Breaks out higher, decent strength, not the strongest, but good enough, definitely. Here it pulls back in a somewhat consistent way, and yeah, again, diagonal and this, and breaks out. Let's see if this was a reaccumulation. Yeah, I think it was. This was like deep enough. This was just a regular MB thingy, right? This and this. So this happens within a 6-minute MMB. So I was supposed to trail the 6-minute. One thing that I'm gonna say is this trend looks kind of extended regarding this momentum cycle. And when that happens, maybe I should be like a bit more aggressive with how I take profits. Like the further up in the trend my entry is, the more aggressive I should be with taking profits. That's probably a good idea. But anyway, I really, really like this trade. I think it's perfect. And let's see what happens. So got into this once again with a limit. Cool. And after it breaks above this, I reduce risk, I think. And this goes quite a lot higher. And I know that there was some news, right, this week. What kind of news was that? 4 p.m. Uh, yeah, I don't know what this is, but yeah, some news was there. And because I was so high in profit, I thought, okay, what I'm gonna do is I'm simply like, first of all, I'm not gonna close before news because I thought I'm gonna survive this no matter what, and I wanted to give myself chances. So I was like, okay, if the news candle goes in my direction, I am going to take some profit, which is exactly what I did. I closed 1/3 of my position on this pumpy candle for a +3, which is nice. And then I trailed the 6 minutes. So gonna give this trade a chance to become a huge runner by trailing the 6-minute 20 EMA. Yep, that's what I did. And unfortunately, that comes all the way back. That's sad. That sucks a little bit, but what can you do? Um, I'm wondering if I have anything in here. Did I maybe like have the 6-minute here? No, I didn't. Let's just find this trade real quick on here. So UK 100. I think that trade was, yeah, here on the 6-minute, right? Mm, was it this one? Not entirely sure. I am not entirely sure. Oh, it looks like I deleted it out of frustration, I guess. But I think the trade was either here or here. So I could have closed it here for a little bit. But back to my original point. When a trend is overextended, or not over, but fairly mature already, I think I should be okay taking profit more aggressively. I did go from like it was a +10 at one point, like this whole thing, it was a +10. I could have taken so much more profit out of this. Yes, I wanted to give it a chance to go even higher, and maybe if it did, I would be tapping my shoulder right now and I would be like, wow, what a beautiful job, blah, blah, blah. But we need to talk about probabilities and likelihood here. What is the likelihood that this trend is going to do something like, yo, bro, what just happened? Um, what is the likelihood that this is going to do this? I think it's not very high. I think it's much more likely, especially after doing this, that this is going to do some kind of reaccumulation and continue. So I should be more aggressive, in my opinion, in taking those trades. If I entered over here or over here, which are my favorite places, right? It's the MMB 1 and 2 after the breakout. I can hold those quite confidently and hope for some kind of overextensions. But after a certain amount of time, I should be okay with taking profits. And it's something that I'm still going to work on. It's like these tiny little nuances and refinements of the management system that I haven't uh, fully refined yet, so to say. But as I gain more experience and see these things happening over and over, especially in backtesting as well, I'm sure that I will figure something out, whether that's going to be some kind of partialing or maybe it's going to be some partial trailing, something that is going to allow me to not give back 2/3 of this entire trade because I took 1/3 off over here for a +3, very nice, but then I gave up an entire 7. If I had just closed completely, especially since it was a news candle and it was also overextended, I really think I could have taken a +10 here and just call it a day. Like, what's my average win going to look like anyway? It's most likely going to be less than 10R. So taking an above average winner, I think should be completely fine. So I'm a little bit disappointed about that. I think I could have gotten much more out of this trade, but it's okay. I got +3. I followed the rules the way I set them up for myself, and that's most important. So I can still think about whether or not I want to change these rules, but as a trader, I need to always have the ability and confidence to follow my rules the way I set them up, right? So overall, I'm happy with myself. This was good. hmm So, okay. So that was this trade. Let's just do this. Okay, and last trade of the week is some kind of gold trade. So let's check this out. I think this is going to be a mistake, though. We'll see. This trade was perfect, by the way. Perfect. Okay. And here we go. Last trade. Can delete. Fuck, I was not supposed to do this. Okay. All right. So what do we have? Overall, I can already see how this is not a closed candle. Okay. That's a problem. That is a problem, not a closed candle. And if I stick to my rule of having a 1 hour 3 box, I would have avoided this. So I decided to follow this because, well, the context looks pretty good, which it does, yeah. Strong stage 2, right? Very nice consistent pullback and goes above like, well, here I can already see all of these cells and whatnot. Here I can see this stage 1. I really needed to see a candle close. Yeah, need a candle close. Yeah. But yeah, I decided to follow this already as it's breaking out. Honestly, looking at this, it looks pretty trash. I thought this, because of this, this is gonna be an aggressive move, right? It's gonna go hard as fuck. On the 10-second, it looks kinda alright. Here it flushes out. I was looking for an entry over here, but didn't get one. Continues higher, flushes out again and creates a DMB. I thought this looks kinda alright, and that's why I entered it. But honestly, looking at it, it looks very choppy, very ugly, but most importantly, there is no candle close. So this is definitely gonna be called a mistake for me. So, what am I gonna do? What am I gonna do? So first of all, let me just do this. I need to set up the next week, and the weeks need to be just far enough of each other so that, let me do this. Shoop. Okay, very nice. Copy this. Yo, put that over here. Okay. Already preparing the next week. All right, good. So that's that. And now I can delete all of this. Okay, cool. So this trade sucked ass. I do not like this trade. What is this? This is choppy as fuck, man. Choppy, ugly, not cool. I guess I was a little bit frustrated from this trade and ended up making a mistake, most likely. So definitely a mistake. Don't like this one. Uh, yep, it's closed. Nothing here. And the mistakes, well, on the context, I just don't like. Well, I don't have this one yet. Do I have anything regarding candle close? Nope. No candle close. Boom. Okay, like that red. Okay, no candle close. That's a big problem. And on the E itself or the V, E, I don't know. It's just very choppy. Very choppy and wicky. Yeah. So bought a high in the 1 minute momentum cycle. Yeah, makes sense, but I wasn't supposed to. So, yep, that's a -1. Cool. So calling it a day after New York Open, got some plans with friends. Quite unfortunate because some market looked amazing, especially J30 and gold. Yep. I remember I then checked the markets after I came back, and I actually didn't miss anything. Maybe I missed a big E or two, but it didn't continue doing what it was supposed to. All right, that's the week done. Quite a big week. A few things I definitely want to take note of right away. That's this one. I need a candle close. Need a candle close. So what went bad? Didn't wait for candle close on the C. Yep. So that's this. Can zoom into that, right? Yes, I can. What else went bad? Um, what else went bad? Let me check the mistakes. So there was something here that I didn't like. Ugly entry. Okay, some ugly entries, huh? Yeah. So let's take note of that. Boop. Some ugly entries. Some ugly entries. Boom. Put that here. Okay, what else went bad? So that was this mistake. Any other mistake? This one. What was the mistake here? Ah, this entry. Yep. That's just gonna be part of this. Make it a bit smaller. Okay, some ugly entries. Um, what can I say about these entries? Yeah, some ugly entries. No, no, no. Below diagonal. Okay. Anything else that I didn't like? Okay, at this point I can go to analysis and check things out a little bit over here. So let's go to the mistakes. So, uh, I see. I can't see the mistakes like this. I need to go over here. So here the mistake was that I didn't pay attention. Okay. All right. Here, what was too early and ugly? What was this? Too early? What the fuck is this entry? I didn't take this? I did? Huh. So this is a dirt dirty trade. Is it this one? Ah, it's this one. Is it? Hmm. I don't know, man. Let me see. Was it this one? No. This one? Ah, yeah, this one. Hmm. Well, yeah, I'm gonna take this one. All right. I think I can do the same over here. It's the same type of problem. Whoop. This is the 6 minute, but in order to follow the 1 minute and 10 second, I need the same. It's the C. So I need the candle close above all of this. So, yep. Okay, that's well documented. And now what went well? I think generally I followed rules fairly well. Like, yeah, I do have 3 mistakes here, but in a total of like 14 trades or something, 9 trades. Quite a few mistakes, definitely avoidable, but in general, I think if I continue trading like this and continue refining, I'm pretty happy with how it went. So generally followed rules well. Okay. Mm, and what went bad? I will also say that uh, management could use some refined rules for extended markets. Yep. And here I'm most likely gonna talk about this. Yo, why the fuck is it so slow? Okay. Boom. Make that a little bit smaller. Bam. There we go. Okay, so quite a bit of commentary here, but very valuable lessons generally. And when it comes to results, let me see. So this week plus 6.1, is that it? Is that it? I think it is, right? Uh, these are all the trades that I ended up taking. No, didn't take. No, should have taken. Yes, so these are all trades that I did take. So overall results are plus 6.1 R. And had I traded perfectly, my result would be plus 11.4 R. If perfect. So that's quite a bit of a difference. If we check the mistakes, wow, why is it like this? Oh, I haven't done. I see. I need to change this a little bit. It doesn't show what I needed to show. The RR net over here. Okay, so the R secured, I think I can just delete it or whatnot. But RR net, I need to calculate this with a sum. So that's 2.8. Really? Only 2.8? Why is it such a big difference then? So had I traded perfectly, I would have taken 8 trades. Here I have 9 trades. So why is it so different? That doesn't make much sense to me. So 0, -1, -1, -1. Oh! Again, I see. Because I need to go to the... Yeah, I haven't changed this just yet. Okay. I'm gonna do these refinements very, very soon. Probably right after this. So I need to go to this, calculate this. Yeah, that's 9.8. Okay. So what is this RR secured thing? Uh, I see. That's without commissions. Okay. So let me just hide that. So perfect week would be 9.8. Here's the mistakes. If I hide that, so that's 2.8. And this week table, it's the same. It's not RR secured, but it's actually going to be, so hide this and go here and do RR net. I do have RR net here. Okay, so 6.1. Cool. So 6.1 is what I got. Had I traded perfectly, I would be up 9.8. So the difference here is the 2.8. Is it? So 9 trades here, 8 trades here. I don't know. Somehow it just doesn't make sense to me. I can't. I need to play around with this a little bit. But yeah, overall I am up plus 6. I just want to go over here real quick. I already inputted all of this data here, and I'm currently in a minus 19 R DD. Here's the analysis. So I had some unfortunate pullback over here, especially with all of the stocks. I did end up uh, being minus EV on stocks. These days I don't really trade them and I'm moving slowly higher. So I think this is a nice week. Some learning from it, definitely. But generally, if I continue trading in this way as I did this week, I'm going to be very happy. It was a good week. Okay, probably a longer video, but that's cool. How long is this? Wow, almost 80 minutes. Peace out.